Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles in order to help people of all walks of life achieve their manifestation goals. All information for me is below. I've been a coach for the last 9 years, 7 years outside YouTube, coaching, entertainment, people, mostly singers, rock stars, you could say, actors, stand-up comedians. That kind of was my entourage, if you will. Still is, and I'm still coaching these people. But for the last 2 years, I've been on YouTube meeting you lovely darling loves, and 99.99% of you are absolutely fucking mesmerizing, if I may say so. I am in love with you guys just as much as you're in love with me. Trust me. It's mutual, as it always is, as we know. And so I want to recommend my coaching. It is unlike anything that you've ever seen out there. It really is. I'm not just saying it. I've worked really hard on it for the last 15 years, you could say. So my signature coaching program is what I recommend 3 months of. Okay, 2 to 3 months, but generally speaking, 3 months on average is what I would consider as mandatory in this case, because it's a deep dive. It's a 3-step process. We cover your history in depth, and I analyze it from the standpoint of metaphysics, manifestation, etc. We process all the drama, trauma, panorama, as I call it, all the emotions that have you stuck on the wrong timeline, where you don't want to be anymore. And it's kind of like Groundhog Day. Every single day, you're reliving the same fucking old bullshit, right? So sounds familiar. It used to be me, okay? Up until my late 20s, I was stuck in that situation. And specifically, my weak point, as it were, was relationships. And it wasn't until I really, you know, really manifested the worst kind of SP, the worst version, did I start paying attention. And that's a lot of you, okay? It's a lot of you. It's not, you don't get help until you really, hit a really difficult point, a really low point. And so I understand that. I've been there, and you need to process all of that. You need to process everything that has been happening up until now, because the reality of things is that my belief is that that is not really who you are authentically. And let me explain why. It's not that you're not being honest. It's that you are taking on a lot of other people's stories, like your parents, whoever you were around during your upbringing, your marriages, etc., etc. And reality is that you're also carrying a lot of baggage for these people. And this is why I teach energy work at the end of my coaching, to really learn manifestation at the highest level possible that there is. True story. Nobody teaches this. Nobody. I just want to know, let you know what's really out there and what's really happening. So this is the highest version of manifesting. But what's significant about that is that your own energy needs to become authentic to who you really are. The golden Buddha, as I refer to it, the highest version of yourself. And so my goal indeed becomes to drive you to your golden Buddha status. So like I say, now this is my slogan. If you noticed, give me 3 months of your life and I will revolutionize your life. You will quantum leap to your golden Buddha status. So true. So true. This is Jake in the background, my dog. Very, very opinionated. I wonder why. In fact, your own energy needs to come into alignment with the new timeline on which everything is there, not just your SP. You think you want just your SP, but understand it starts with you. It's with who you are, how you're vibrating. And I discussed this in the last video. Go watch it, by the way. Change your energy and have them run back. It's so true. Your energy needs to come to that timeline where you will experience not just the SP, but the overall quality of your experience will radically shift. And so this is what I do. I'm not bragging, it's just how it works. And I've perfected my methods in the last 9 years, and this is the most perfect version of this installation cold signature coaching program. Really proud of it, and the results I see in my coaching, if somebody follows, if somebody is really wide open and receptive and doesn't want to argue, doesn't want to resist me, something fucking amazing happens. Let me just tell you this. Just fully trust me. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I will get you there if you fucking let me. Okay, but if there's resistance, I sympathize. It's not that. It's just, maybe on the way to coaching, some of you need some therapy. I mean, I'm just going to be wide open and honest about it, because if you can't, maintain a schedule, let's just say, if you can't show up to meetings, if you can't be focused, and if there's resistance and it's more than I can handle in coaching, then this is not for you right now. Okay? And I think it's okay to say that. And in fact, this audio I'm dedicating to, I wanted to talk a little bit more about abusive SPs. And yeah, it's to the best of my understanding, not a lot of people are talking about it. And I received a lovely comment from my subscriber, this new lovely lady, Regina McNeish. And I'm going to read her comment because it kind of it echoes what I said in that video about manifesting an abusive SP to be different. And what I said in that audio, by the way, was that a video, sorry, not audio, is that everything is possible. I'm not ruling out that this is possible, that you're able to manifest a different version of an abusive SP. And in fact, I mean, listen, this is a separate, so maybe we could put them in the same basket, and I will explain. So I speak about narcissists a lot on my channel, and I have said that, not only in my life have I turned around narcissists, but also in my clients' lives, right? So this is different how, again, the degree to which you can believe that this person can change and the degree to which you can look at them differently and really buy into it and be okay with that decision. This is entirely your choice. What I observe that most people, I misspoke in my video. I'm not exactly sure why, but most people don't choose that route because chances are when they heal, they're just not interested. And this is what the comment is about. I'm going to read it in just a bit here. But it just becomes a question of how much abuse. So different levels of abuse. Everybody's on the spectrum in the narcissistic world. To me, when it clearly and obviously departs into the territory of downright evil, that's what I'm calling abuse. So if somebody's even being manipulative, let's just say, we're all kind of like more or less guilty of the same crime. But if the person does it to such an extent that it's deliberate and it's to hurt you, I mean, doesn't it become obvious that this is absolutely crazy? Okay? I even understand fights, and I mean, things being thrown and this and that. One or two, three, right? Let's just say fights like that in your history with this person. I mean, depending on the time that you were together. But as an overall character of this person, I mean, it has to be benevolent, right? Because it ultimately is up to you. It is not up to me to tell you what to do. If you misunderstood my position being like, that's what this is my position. You don't have to fucking take it. You don't have to take anything I say. This is what I think is right. Because I was myself in an abusive relationship and it was catastrophic to my psyche. So the abusive person that you are encountering today, let's just say, because you clicked on this audio for a reason, is an amalgamation of the snowball that once upon a time used to be, let's just say, your parent. And you didn't even realize like how destructive all of that was to you, how really traumatic. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody, even if you told them, had the guts to tell them, nobody fucking listened. And I know that, excuse me, sorry about that. I know that because I'm coaching people, let's just say mid 30s to, all the way to like 80s, actually. Mostly. Once in a while, I have like somebody in their 20s, but which is kudos to them for resonating with me. But, but the generation that raised us in our 40s was fucking dysfunctional as fuck, if I may say. There's lots of shit that wouldn't fly today. Let's just put it this way, okay? So, but that's the originator, right? The initial violator of your psyche. And it never got examined. It never got most likely taken seriously. Oh, get over it. Like I remember my mother, literally, I had this memory pop up in my psyche the other day. I was very artistic, like from very early on, like 4, or something. I mean, you name it, I did it. I danced and I recited poetry, made clothing. Like, I'm so serious. Like by 5, I was just like rolled in, like took acting and this and that, ballet, swimming. I think my mother was preparing me to be like, I don't know, a rocket scientist or something. But anyway, like too much, for a little kid. So, I was artistic and I was drawing something and I heard this song, I Believe I Can Fly, on the radio. And I was writing out the lyrics that resonated with me. And now I'm realizing that it resonated with me because, it came from somewhere, right? But the lyrics are something to the effect of sometimes silence can be so loud. Okay, I think that's the lyric. Something like that in that song. And it was heavy for a child to write that, and I'm like 9, or 10 or something. And she just brushed it off. She's like, oh, you are so sad. Oh, like making fun of me. Like, oh, get over yourself. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, don't embarrass me kind of deal, that I'm not a good parent. So that snowballs. Fast forward to today, and now it's like a full-blown situation in a person that you've never really visited the energy to such a scale that you've never visited before, because now it's in your face. Now it hurts so much that you can no longer ignore it. And so I want to say that some of you, manifestation truly has been misadvertised for a lot of people, I want to say, out there. I think you have to, like, employ common sense, all right? And, it becomes a question of you're manifesting for the wrong reason. Some of you need to come into coaching purely to detox your mind. When I did this for myself 15 years ago, and I was like on this journey of like complete revolution, I became a different person completely. And I would have never, like, there were several times that I left my abusive drug addict ex, tried to leave, but always went back, always found excuses, always, closed my eyes on something, always overstepping myself. You know how much fucking detriment. It lasted 3 years. I feel like it was a fucking century. And I could have been doing many fucking other things during the 3 year period that I will never get back. I felt absolutely fucking mortified that somebody like me, after I healed, would ever step into the same vicinity of an absolute disaster that this person was. But this is how low my self-esteem was. In the fucking toilet. Not even in the toilet. It was like swimming in the New York City gutters, Whatever that is called. It was that bad. I mean, I'm telling you, my dating track record up until then was not like marvelous to begin with. Okay. Not at all. Like, my first husband literally tried to kill me. True story. I'm not even like making fun. It wasn't like the most stellar, but this one was everything all at once. And so I had no choice. I had to look at what the fuck I was doing. And it was me who was doing it. But, like these illusions about staying with that abusive person and being able to do anything, you're swimming in their energy. Do you understand what energy is? It's communicating on a cellular level. Like I used to say always on my channel, on a cellular level, you're transforming when you're with a person like that. Like, don't you think even like for survival, you need to get the fuck out of their aura? So you've manifested this shit show, but why stay with it? I wish, oh my fucking God, I wish somebody, anybody, just took me by the fucking hand and told me, girl, what the fuck is in your mind? Why the fuck would you put up with an ounce of that? I wish somebody bitch slapped me. I'm so fucking serious. I wish somebody literally like tied me up somewhere, so I stay away from this person. That's all that needed to happen, because my final straw, and there's always a final straw, but why wait, right? There's always a final straw, and the final straw for me was that he promised me to give up the drugs, and he fucking didn't. And I found out, of course, shortly after, and I caught him at the party, and I walked out of the party. I was like, I just can't be with a drug addict. I mean, believe it or not, I was that naive. I didn't realize that he was on drugs before. Okay, but that's another story for another time. I was raised really like in a strict household, okay? You gotta understand, we didn't have conversations about like what drugs look like or anything like that. Or how a person acts suddenly, okay, after visiting the bathroom, if you know what I mean. Like all of that was completely unknown to me. Completely unknown to me. And I realized like, wow, I got myself in a big ass shit show here. And I gotta swim out of it like ASAP. And, there was this hesitation and like, oh my God, I already told this story, but this is what I owe everything I am today. It's true. It starts with one step, right? And I was on this boat with 4th of July, blah, blah, blah. And I saw him with the drugs. And the boat finally was coming to the harbor after all the waiting for like 2 hours to walk off of it already. Or something very long like that. I don't know. It may have been an hour. And I'm at the point of leaving without him, and he's somewhere like with the girls and all that bullshit. And I'm about to make that step to go on the harbors, on the dock. And I literally felt like some kind of a light push behind me. Of course, nobody was behind me, but something pushed me to make that step, and something like literally encouraged me to go to my apartment at that moment. And that's exactly what I did. And that was the end. That was the end. He gave me a very hard time getting my stuff, this and that and the other. But ultimately, like in my soul of souls, I knew like I couldn't do it. And then something else happened after that confirmed it. But it's a little too personal, so I can't go into it without disclosing personal things that I'd rather not, but something else in addition to that having to do with a third party, okay? Why was that mind-blowing at that point? I don't know, but I guess when people like up and down swear to you that they're doing something else and they're doing this, and clearly like, you know, his assistant told me, and I'm just like, okay, well, all right, so I'm still not coming back to you. Anyway, so it's a very, I want to say that I understand it's a laborious process, but understand when you're coming in to coaching, you're coming in for yourself. And it has the hooks in you, so much so that this Nia, if she's still a subscriber on my channel, I don't think so, because I think people, see, that's just the thing, right? People who are being abused and don't understand anymore that it's abuse, they have this thing. This is the people-pleasing, trying to make everything perfect thing. They're trying to find excuses even for their abuser. Isn't that something? Finding excuses why they may not be abusive. Let's change. No, let's not fucking change him for just a sec. Let's fucking examine what you created and why. Not in a blameful way, but this is a message. Why are we trying again to... I love, and eventually I will read it. I promise. The comment is coming. Why are we trying to be all butterfly, bubblegummy bullshit with the blueberry pies in our hands? Can't we just like accept that life is real and this is also part of life? But why you're creating it is far more interesting, as I said in the video. It's far more interesting to ask why would you want to defend something like that? Okay, why would you want to find excuses? Instead of giving people back their bullshit, as I say, and holding people accountable. Holding people accountable gives you back your power. It does. It fucking does, because you're no longer putting out with bullshit. It sends a direct message to the universe like, oh, they've changed. Finally respecting themselves. Fucking fantastic. It's about bloody fucking time. You know? Yeah. The truth is the truth. If you don't want to hear the truth, please don't come into my coaching. If the truth offends you, you've got bigger issues, quite frankly, and I don't have the fucking time for that. So the truth will really set you free. Why? Because acknowledging that you've created this and what is the cause of that, that will be your breakthrough. That will be a breakthrough. But then let's get to that finish line, and then let's have this conversation again about that motherfucker who did this, that, and the other. Then let's re-examine. But then I'm going to tell you exactly that if somebody is going out of their way to harm you, to hurt you, and they know that they're doing it, because they always fucking know. They don't know. Okay, they don't know. It's like they don't know their name. Please, tell me another story. Of course they know. They're doing it on purpose. They're getting something out of it, and that ain't right. They're sucking you dry of your energy. The energy that you live in is polluted. You need to get the fuck out of there. And it is going to be hard. It is going to be hard, but instead of shoving it under the carpet and trying to make it pretty, why don't you do yourself a fucking favor and get on the train of quantum leaping, okay, into a timeline where you respect yourself and all of your relationships are aligned in the same manner, where you do get respect and acknowledgement and reciprocity and whatever the fuck else you please, okay? So for one motherfucker, we have to sacrifice the entire fucking life? No fucking way. That's what I was doing for 3 years. My life was his life. Why? I don't fucking know, other than I was fucking stupid. Boy, this audio is like rock and roll. Okay. So listen, essentially what I'm always saying, I'm only here to suggest. I'm not here to judge by any stretch of the imagination. What I am saying, it's always up to you. It's always up to you. I'm just going to see what's I'm going to see what's real in your situation in particular, but the choice is always yours. I can't tell you what to do. I can offer my opinion, but the choice is yours. I'm not one of these coaches like, yeah, you got to do this and oh, that's it. Just know the consequences that if you don't do what I say, you're not going to succeed. That's just, what I'm talking about here. So how much abuse has gone on, how believable it is to you, and it's up to you. But that may also be the reason it's stopping you, because subconsciously you know that this ain't right. Okay? So even to manifest a different version, if you're still denying yourself this experience of like, this shit is fucked up and I should get away from it and I should work on myself, then get back to the drawing board when I'm ready to manifest again with a different energy, and then I want to make decisions. That's the healthiest recipe, darling. Okay, now I'm going to read this comment. Okay, this is from Regina McNeish again, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Here's her kind of testimony, her comment. She says, I personally know two people who were in abusive relationships, and basically they changed the men and they wanted nothing to do with the men after they changed them. I wonder why. One stayed with the men for over a decade later after the abuse, but their relationship was never the same, and she moved on and found a man that basically worships her. The other stayed for just after their daughter was born, but she left after that, and also has a man who basically worships her. Lovely. Love it. Thank you for sharing this. Both were hit even during their pregnancies. Wow. Yeah. But both woke up suddenly and it all drastically changed in their minds, and then their life changed. It was kind of wild when I witnessed the change. They both had the men regretting and wishing they would come back, but they both grew so much that they couldn't even fathom that they saw in those men. Thank you very fucking much. Yes, indeed. That was my experience. Like, how the fuck did I ever do this? I've seen people put their partners in jail for DV and come right back together in a really viscous cycle, but it never works out because they couldn't get their mind right about their self-worth. And then they go on to other people or are just traumatized. They become strong, independent women in quotations and remain single and go on about how they think everyone should be single, a trauma response. I'm glad you're saying something about this because it's completely ignored in the manifestation community. Right. And then she says, it's like rainbows and toxic positivity in that community sometimes, and no one likes to talk about how bad parenting got us thinking the way we do in order to be suffering the way we do with money and relationships and other big desires. Yep. So, yeah, everybody ignores it because it's not an easy subject. And I just want to make sure that I resonate with you with this position, because if you don't agree with this position, we can't work together. In other words, I have my way of fixing, in quotation, the situation if you're in an abusive relationship, but you're going to have to give me the wheel to drive for some time until you are stable enough and can really think clearly, because right now your mind is polluted with a lot of bullshit that doesn't belong there. That energy needs to clear. So if you have your own ideas about how this should work, please don't bother, because it's just not going to happen. All right? It's just not going to happen. If there is a chance that in your situation it could turn around, again, it entirely depends upon how much you can buy into. Again, how much abuse, but also let me do it the way that I do it. So don't tell me how to do it. In other words, my methods always work. Like I said, I have changed narcissists in my personal life and in my clients' lives. But again, I want to stress, it hasn't gone into the department. Like, as for me, right, my philosophy in my own personal life, when the person oversteps the line of civility, of like even, trespassing my personal life, and, these kinds of situations, when they cross over a certain boundary where it completely makes me feel unsafe about this person, that's my cutoff game. Okay, so that could mean different things to different people, but in my mind, I would hope that we agree that there's standards of how to treat each other. Okay, so if that has crossed over into the completely unacceptable behavior, let's just say, then this is, it just needs to be that you walk away immediately and try to heal. I would not imagine for the life of me in that scenario that once you heal that you would ever even see yourself with such a person. If it's something less than that, and and anybody could be manipulative, like I said, even if they don't realize it, etc. So maybe hurtful, maybe said something, it happens to everybody. Even fights, with dishes. I mean, okay, let's not make it a habit, but I'm just saying things happen, people lose their temper. All of that is possible completely. And again, the same for narcissism, but it's just at which point are you finding yourself today? So if it's like beyond that line that I just described, I'm going to just be upfront and honest with you. It's not fucking worth it. I wish somebody told me this. It's not fucking worth it. It's not fucking worth it. It's not fucking worth it. You get your shit together. Find yourself a man that worships you. Okay? Seriously now. And come into coaching for that reason. And understand, in either case, you're coming into coaching for yourself. If it's something less than that, then absolutely, like, happy to help you either way, but happy to entertain this idea with you of molding this person into a new version. I'm just being a humanist because I know people. It's not going to be fucking believable to you. So don't waste your fucking time and money, right? Maybe it's just therapy you need to heal. But I've been told that I'm better than any therapist. Not for nothing. I'm not a therapist, okay? I've taken psychology classes, but I've been told over and over again that what I do in my coaching in like 2 to 3 months is better than like years in therapy. Just saying, hey, it's not me talking, my clients now, okay? So anyway, hope this helps you, okay? Hope this helps you kind of get clear on where I stand as far as this goes, and maybe help you understand what you should be doing if you find yourself in a situation like this. And here's the deal. When I decided to finally cut cords with my drug addict ex, who was absolutely a fucking nightmare to me, the entirety of our relationship, just, you never knew what the fuck was happening, and I was somehow okay with that, right? But when I was a new person, like a year later, okay, I promised myself a year later I will be a different person once I decided to completely disconnect from him. And I was. I had just started my business and this and that. And you know what happens? I found myself on a different frequency, and a lot of other people that were in my life, I realized were just as much full of shit as this person, as my ex. So you see how like shifting frequency abandons all that bullshit behind. It's not just your SP or whatever that is being abused. There are other people within your proximity right now that are not the right versions of themselves, or simply don't belong in your life, quite frankly. So you see how it's very dangerous to go and stay on that level, because there's other things that you're blocking right now from your life that would be miraculous for you, but it can't come in because you're in this fucking soup, or people that don't belong to be around you. So that's how important that work really becomes. It's global. All right. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. And by the way, today is the last day to join for the live of today. Okay. The live is at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be discussing how to drive your SP absolutely crazy telepathically. Okay, so you need to sign the coaching agreement. So literally, if you're listening to this, run and print the coaching agreement, sign it, date it, send it back to me. And yeah, and once you book, then I will send you a link. Just email me, please. All right. And today is also the last day to join for the Saturday Lives package for $98. After that, after today, right at the end of today, it will be 148. So I don't know. I think it's better than going out for drinks. It's better than, chewing on candy and this and that. This is an investment in your mind. I think you should definitely join. You will be able to ask questions one-on-one with me, and it's going to be a lot different because the vibe is going to be different. It's just more cozy and everybody's friendly, and I think we'll get a lot done that way. So it will be recorded. You will walk away with a recording. All right, if you have any questions, please email me directly. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.